see, although I'm not someone who recommends supplements, just simply because I believe in unprocessed life and I believe that nature will give us everything. So I don't think supplements are always required. But in the current environment, vitamin D deficiency is pretty common. So if you have vitamin D deficiency, that's going to come and affect your hormones. It's going to affect your fat deposition. So make sure that your vitamin D intake is okay, as in your vitamin D levels are okay. And if you once your levels are in the normal range, then you may have to take like 1,000 IU supplement on an everyday basis, because most of us are not getting vitamin D for whatever reason. So that is one. Second supplement that I talk about is an anti-inflammatory. It's again not something that everyone needs to take. Sorry, it's not something that every PCOS girl needs to take, but it is something that I think everyone living in a city benefits from, and that's a turmeric supplement, because curcumin is a non-inflammatory problem. And most of the, the more research we are doing in this, and the more we are understanding lifestyle disorders like PCOS, we are realizing that there is some connection with inflammation. So when you have something like a curcumin supplement on a regular basis, what will happen is your inflammation levels go down. When these go down, these will have an overall effect on the way your body functions and the way it should. The last supplement is omega 3. Omega 3 plays a very important role in the way the hormones function inside your body. And omega 3 we don't get from most foods right now. So for omega 3, if you're someone who eats fish, then you can just eat mackerel or salmon about 100, 150 grams on a regular basis. Otherwise, what you can do is you can, so like I'm a vegan, I don't get that. So I end up having a algae oil supplement, which is basically DHA above 400 mg. You can have that. And in addition to that, just make sure you're getting about 2 to 3 tablespoons of flax seeds to cover your entire spectrum of, of omega-3 sources. So yeah, these are three that work. If someone is on a low, if someone cannot manage getting their adequate protein, then as I've mentioned, protein is very, very crucial for anyone with PCOS. So in that case, you may have to explore taking a protein supplement.
Right, especially the vegetarians who.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
What about cod liver oil? That's also a source of omega-3, right? The cod liver oil capsules that we get.
Yeah, yeah. So cod liver oil is great. It's also, but the thing is that the most of the brands have about 100 to 150 mg of omega 3. And the thing is, I personally have seen in my own personal practice, I've seen that omega 3 directly, DHA and EPA, they work the best, because cod liver is so little in the amount of omega 3 it will give. So it's always better to take an omega 3 directly. We are getting the other forms of fat through food anyway, coriander and fennel. So this actually helps your body flush out toxins. Now, these are also not two remedies that are only for PCOS, but these are good lifestyle practices that will help almost everyone. But for people who have PCOS, black raisins would be a good thing. Soak them and you can eat those, because they kind of, not only do they help with the PCOS, the symptoms of PMSing, they are also a very good source of iron. And most of the girls with PCOS have a lot of blood loss. So iron becomes important. So you can look at black raisins.